LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron.
Yeah! NBA Straya, how are you going? Are you good? You should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's Saturday, July 25, and our long international nightmare is over. Finally, we have the answer we've all been waiting for, and Matisse Thybulle has joined the LA Lakers. No. No, obviously, the big news today is that the Menzingers album is out. No, all right. I do like the new Menzingers album as well. Don't like it as much as the other ones, but we'll get to that later. LeBron James is going to the Philadelphia 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6ers. So, LeBron makes his final decision, pulls off a reverse Fresh Prince, leaves his kid in LA, and pisses off to West Philadelphia. Love that. Pretty funny. So we're going to talk that out. I have to do a show. I just had to. Like, I woke up. You can look at me if you're watching the YouTube. I've literally come straight from the footy. It was the first full family, fantastical, familiar footy outing. It took all the family today. It was awesome. We had a great time. The Blues won. I'm wearing the 95 Premiership T-shirt and everything. But yeah, so basically I've had a little bit of time to stew on this, and I've got 25 random thoughts on LeBron going to Philly. So we'll talk it out, and then we'll do 25, basically players it affects, teams that it affects, the wide-ranging impact of LeBron going to Philly. We're going to talk it out. It's going to be good. I've come back from 2 weeks in far north Queensland. Tropical Jim had some tropical beers. Now we're ready to rock. Let's do it. It's episode 1428 of NBA Straya. Let's go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
Well, you better. Or obviously you better watch out for the LeBron attack. On a bloody Saturday morning, LeBron, I get that he's done it on a Friday to dominate all the USA discourse across an entire weekend. I don't know, he could have gone and hung out and just done it on a Monday morning for us, right? That would have been handy. Give us the rest of the week to talk about it. But anyway, so LeBron comes out of nowhere. Let's start there. It's the daily whip around. Oh, is that a whip around, is it, Jim? Yeah, look, there's a couple of other little bits and bobs that we'll probably kind of get to. But of course, most of this show is going to be about LeBron. And it was pretty interesting, the way he announced it. There was no sitting down with the Boys and Girls Club of America. That was weird still, in retrospect. He just went out full social blast and away we go. I thought I was done when the season ended. I wasn't ready to announce it, and I knew I needed some time to really decide, but I was pretty sure I played my last game. I was honest at that last press conference when I said I needed to look at myself and decide deicide. How do you let a typo get through? You serial? Anyway, and deicide, he's going to go out and kill some gods. And deicide if I still love this game. No one ever accused LeBron of being the world's greatest speller. Though he has read lots of books. At least a page of a book. Anyway, I still truly love this game, and I have more to give. The last few weeks have really been special. I've never been able to have no clue what to do and take real time to just think. It's important, isn't it? I've had an incredible few months. Did he just do the same thing I did? Just go to a tropical beach and just sit there and just like stare out across the ocean, sink a million tins? Nah, he probably did something a little bit different, but still. I've had an incredible few months with all the people I love, trying to figure it all out. This is my last decision. I'm not going for money. I'm not going for family. What am I really playing for at this point? He asks himself. I still want to sacrifice. Just leave them goats alone, LeBron. I still want to work. I still want to grind. Yes. I still want to compete to win and to have a chance at the feeling of winning another championship. I believe I can help make the Philadelphia 76ers a championship team, and I am so excited to energize a new fan base. I think they ought to have been energized already, LeBron, and start this incredible journey one last time. Thank you, LA. Miami, I'll forever love, and Northeast Ohio will always be home. Blow it out your ass, Minnesota. It doesn't say that at the end. Prayer hands emoji, salute emoji, crown emoji. Right! So LeBron's gone, cool. I reckon I have a really good crack at winning a title on the Philadelphia 76ers. It's like, okay, it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Did it have to take this fucking long? It's July 25, LeBron. Come on, man. And at least, you know, everyone still gets all of August off. It's fine. And I guess where we sort of drive into this sort of like initial point is like, all right, it had been clearly sort of carved down to Cleveland. That's right. Cleveland, Miami, and Philly. And it really, like, Miami had the thing last week where one of the producers started a, live press conference thing on YouTube, right? Which we've done, like, I remember we've had this happen before where you go live because you just want to test the stream. They did that. And of course it was the live introductory press conference for LeBron James. Everyone flips out. He's going to Miami. I never kind of bought into the Miami stuff. If you go back, I never bought the Golden State stuff, even though it sort of felt like that would be kind of like maybe the cop-out, old guys getting back together and hanging out kind of thing. I, from day one, was like, it's going to be Cleveland. He's going to do Cleveland. The narrative is going to be awesome. It's where it all started. Just a kid from Akron, all that sort of shit, right? And I thought that's where he'd go. And all the other ones, you're kind of like, yeah, look, Miami, the fit with Giannis is fucking weird. He and Bam and Giannis and Davion Mitchell and Simone, they're from there. Yeah. And then Philly popped up, and you're like, oh, yeah, but they can't, like, they've got no money to offer him. And it turns out that didn't matter because he's taken a 2-year, $8 million deal, a player option in the second year, BT dubs, and signed for the minimum. So I think I tweeted out when I got the news. Yeah, tough day for the ones that, he's not going to go for the minimum and go ring chasing crew. That's what he's done. But at the same time, I'll get to this. This is one of the last sort of random thoughts that I had. As I basically, the 25 random thoughts are quite literally that. I just like went bang, 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 bang. I've got no other notes. It's just 25 random thoughts. And one of them was quite simply just like looking at this entire idea of like the minimum and like his decision to join a team that is very, very, very much primed and built to contend with his addition. Does it sort of feel a bit like, ew? Kind of. It kind of does. We'll get to that later, but I don't know. I still feel, it should have probably have been Cleveland, but it turns out it looks like they couldn't get any deals done to get a bunch of money off their, cap sheet so they could actually give him anything, and here we are. So, anyway, aside from this, so LeBron to Philly is big, and what this also means is you'll probably see some of the other dominoes start to fall in the next few days. Some of these names are in the random thoughts as well, so we'll get to all that. But one of the other ones is the notorious KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, is apparently working on a buyout from the Grizzlies to go join LeBron in Philly, which I love. Because, I mean, I'm going to talk about this again as well, but they sort of need, you just think about the prototypical Sixers team, or at least the prototypical team they would have had. Adding KCP to that team was a good idea anyway. And then you got LeBron as well. Kind of love it. They also just need a bit of size otherwise, but still. There you go. Right. Other little bits and bobs that I probably should... Look, I didn't want to do a show that after Zachary Ricochet got traded from the Hawks to Dallas. It's a fascinating setup. I do like that trade for Dallas as well because they get Zachary Ricochet basically for nothing. Dort goes to Atlanta. They get into this, holy crap, look at what we can throw out there defensively kind of vibes. And Nick Alexander-Walker, Dyson Daniels, now Lou Dort. OKC get a bunch of second-round picks. They clean up the cap sheet a little bit. They've got other dudes who can walk into that Dort role anyway as it stands. But I wasn't going to do a full show about Zachary Ricochet, the worst first-round pick since Anthony Bennett. Right? Yeah. So, yeah, it's a bit of a rough one. But anyway, I reckon there was also Jordan Walsh signed one of those small, Boston keep doing this. They did it with Peyton Pritchard. It's a 3-year, $15 million deal. So Jordan Walsh has been very good. We got Aussie Matty T obviously signing with the Lakers. Got a great question from Matty G the other day. Jim, is Matty T going to play a whole bunch because he's the only Laker that plays any defense? Yeah, nah, yeah. Well, he's the only perimeter defender they've got. Walker Kessler can play a bit of defense. At least he can block shots. And it's one of those interesting things when you watch Walker Kessler play. You're like, all right, defensively, I mean, you're blocking some shots. Are you any good elsewhere? It's a bit how you going. So, anyway, Aussie Matty T on the Lakers, I love it. He gets to go play with the Slovenian Andrew Gaze. Pretty good. Even though, remember, the Boomers and Aussie Matty T, bit of biffo with Slovenia over the years. Don't know. Maybe you can get into Luca's head next time the Boomers go up against him. But anyway, right, that's it. So since I left, we left you, was it July 3rd, I think, was the last show. And I was like, all right, cool. When LeBron makes his decision, I'll jump on and talk it out. That's what I'm doing. I'll tell you what. Thank absolute bugfuck that he didn't do this a week ago, because I would have been in, coming back from far north Queensland, and it was a great 2 weeks just hanging out. We went to Mission Beach up in Queensland. Absolutely beautiful. It was pissing down rain for the first 2 days. It was fucking stunning the rest of the time. Absolutely unreal. Staying in a caravan park, literally on the fucking beach. Absolutely unreal. However, did not see one fucking cassowary on the Cassowary coast. Get your head out your ass, cassowaries. Come on. I'm driving around a fucking giant goddamn Kia. And what are they? Kia. Oh, yeah, they're just, it's got the diesel. It's like, vroom. But we take my folks, as well as the two squids, and me and old mate. So there's 6 of us. So the Kia Carnival, it fits all of us. And actually, your baggage, etc. And you're sort of fanging around. You're like, come on, man, I want to see a fucking cassowary. Never happened. Went for some bushwalks. Lots of swimming in, the pool, bit in the ocean. And then you have that moment every so often. You're like, oh, yeah, Crocs. Fucking hell. I was standing there. Someone had, thrown fish off the side of a boat at some point. They'd, filleted them. And we're sort of just hanging out near the edge of the water at the beach. And there's these 2 fish carcasses. And you're like, all right, yeah, let's not swim here. I'm kicking the soccer ball around with the oldest squid for a little bit. Turn around, one of them's gone. You're like, fucking Jesus, let's get out of here. Yeah, no good. Don't know what it was. Could have been another fish. I don't know. Could have been a little croc. Fucking who knows. Anyway, it was a good 2 weeks. Very chill. Drank a lot of beers. Ate lots of great food. Love turning into Tropical Gym for 2 weeks each year. The other big news is, this is, we haven't booked flights or anything, but it looks like I'm going to be in the States for a full month in a little bit. So across September, October. So I'll be going to some preseason games, trying to go full, media and shit while I'm over there. That'll be fun. So yeah, your preseason shit for NBA Australia this year is going to be Jim right in the guts of it. So FYI. Right, but that's it. Let's do it. That's the sort of update. Enjoyed 2 weeks off, hanging out. Now we're doing the footy show, Footy Unfilterated. NFL Australia will kick off again in a few weeks. It's all going on. But for now, LeBron James is a Philadelphia 76er, and I have some thoughts. So let's do it. 25 random thoughts on LeBron going to Philly. Let's do it. Right after this break. Oh, yeah.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Australia.
listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
All right. Remember, the show is always brought to you by you. Help support us by going to buymeacoffee.com/NBA Australia. I'm going to do a bunch more writing. We've got one of the off-season shows popping off as well. We do the exclusive content on there, so go check it out. buymeacoffee.com/NBA Australia. Okay, 25 random thoughts on LeBron going to Philly. 25 of them. Number 1. Is it really fucking weird that this is a reverse Fresh Prince? Yeah, nah. Yes, it is. In West Bel Air, Bronny was born and raised, and his dad was actually in Cleveland, but now he's in LA, and then his dad pissed off and went to Philly and started making trouble in the neighborhood. And Bronny was left in LA, and he started getting a bit scared. He went, I want to go hang out with Dad, but not in Bel Air. Fuck. I'll tell you what. For coming off the top of my head, that was pretty good. Reverse Fresh Prince. Will Bronny join his dad in Philly? Probably. Lakers have got too many dudes. Wouldn't be surprised if they cut his bum ass. But it is very, very funny that LeBron goes from LA to Philly. That is the reverse of what happens all the time. Like, having just been in LA back in, a month and a bit ago, everybody is obviously, from fucking East Coast, Midwest, somewhere else. But yeah, you don't often meet people in Philly who are from LA. But the reverse Fresh Prince is funny as shit. That was my first initial thought. I'm like, that's fucking weird. It's also very funny. Number 2, will he live in Philly? Or will he just live up in New York and commute? Now, this is pretty funny because there's an Acela, which is the train. I would absolutely love to see LeBron James catching the Acela down to Philly from New York, lining up at Penn Station with everybody else. So, funny story-ish about this is that Joe Biden used to do this, right? When he was VP, I think. Yeah, when he was VP. Because when we were living there, old mate, she would catch the when she was, she was doing her work stuff. She'd be sort of commuting as well, and yeah, she'd see old Sleepy Joe hanging out, and then he'd jump on the train with the Secret Service and go down and stay in DC for a few days. It's pretty fun. But anyway, I mean, obviously, I've been to the Philadelphia 76ers practice facility. It's actually over the river, which I believe is technically Jersey. And so, yeah, it's pretty easy to get to from New York. Be interesting to see if he actually lives in Philly or New York. You'd expect New York. They're on the road all the time as well. Like, who cares, right? It's pretty funny there. All right. So, they're the first 2 random thoughts. Is he going to live there? That's pretty weird. You go from, like, sunny, beautiful LA to Philly. It's a great town. I love Philly. It's a good drinking town. I don't know if it's a great, like, hanging out, let's, enjoy the sunshine kind of town. But anyway, New York makes a little bit more sense. Number 3. All right. Are Philly instantly more awesome? Is this a good move? Yeah, nah. Yeah, it's great. I think for the simple fact, as we saw with the Lakers this year, right? If LeBron's in your top 3 best players, you can be pretty good. Unfortunately, when your other 2 best players get hurt and LeBron's your best player, you're cooked. If he's not in the top 2-3 players of your team, and on Philly, he's probably 3rd, 4th, maybe 4th, depending on if Embiid's playing. You suddenly become, I don't know, much more additive, right? And I think that's where he should be at this point in his career. And it's what he was doing really, really well with LA when all 3 of Reeves, Luka, and LeBron were actually healthy, right? They were flying when they had that sort of like combo. And LeBron's doing all this sort of in-between shit. And so, yes, Philly are instantly more awesome. It makes a hell of a lot of sense because you just simply look at their entire starting lineup and you go, Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, and Joel Embiid. And you're like, holy crap, yes, that makes sense. They're instantly more awesome. They're instantly an even bigger story. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of weird that this happens after the Jaylen Brown stuff, but here we are. So, yes, they are instantly more awesome, instantly even more interesting than they already were, which was very. Number 4, did this happen after, and like, did it change his mind after they traded for Jaylen Brown? Yeah, nah, I kind of think it did. There was a little thing in there, like Rich Paul and he was saying, these teams that are like vying for LeBron's hand need to show they're fucking going all out. And that's what the Jaylen Brown trade was for the Sixers, right? Even though it's kind of also wildly fucking opportunistic and Boston are dummies, but whatever. Oh my God, I'm so happy we're done with the... Anyway, I'll talk about Jaylen Brown later, but it sort of feels like, yeah, we'd been waiting on any sort of Anthony Davis related sort of stuff for Golden State or, maybe Miami pull off another trade for somebody else alongside Giannis that LeBron could sort of plug in with. But really it's Golden State and very few other sort of suitors that obviously Cleveland trying to make 1 or 2 moves to like clear some cap space to get LeBron in there. Never kind of worked. Whereas Philly are like, hey, man, we've got a fucking loaded team already after we've traded for Jaylen Brown. What do you reckon? And then he goes, fucking hell yeah. So, number 5, will it work? Yeah, nah. I mean, to what degree do you want it to work? I think the coolest thing about this for LeBron and for Philly is they don't need him. Oh, shit, Jim. Yeah, they don't need him. He's a luxury. That's the coolest part. They're 3 primary other dudes in, like, apart from Embiid, right? So just put Embiid and LeBron off to the side. But their other 3 dudes, Maxey plays an absolute fuck ton. VJ Edgecombe played a fuck ton last year as a rookie. And Jaylen Brown plays, guess what? A fuck ton. And if your 3 dudes like that play all the time, and they do, and they carry pretty decent minutes loads and all that sort of shit, you don't need LeBron to be the fulcrum of your universe, right? And you don't even really need Joel Embiid to be the fulcrum of your universe anymore. To the point where, we'll get to this later, but is he even on this team? But still, with the 3 primary other dudes playing, where you've got 3 young dudes, which is key as well, right? It's just the Maxey, VJ, Jaylen Brown combo means you're going to be a pain in the ass whether or not LeBron and Embiid are there, which is huge for Philly, right? It just makes them so much tougher on a night-to-night basis. And I'll get to this as well. The East is going to be a bloodbath. There's not too many easy wins in the entire NBA. But with those 3 dudes playing all the time and LeBron and Embiid with their questionable availability, when they're there, awesome. Otherwise, it's okay. You should be able to like make do, and that's awesome. So will it work? I think it'll work to a degree where they didn't need him. They don't have to rely on him. And that's exactly where you probably need it at the moment for a 42-year-old LeBron James, right? 41, 42. I think he's 42, isn't he? So, yeah, it's pretty good. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. So LeBron and Embiid can sort of chill when they need to. They don't have to carry a huge load, the two of them. They can sort of just take it easy when needed and really sort of just, bide their time, try to build chemistry when they can, play as much as they can, but there's no, overarching pressing need to, overburden Embiid or LeBron, which I think is fucking massive. So I think that's where it works to a degree where adding LeBron to a team like this is probably the ideal situation rather than going, all right, LeBron, we desperately need you. We're Miami. It's going to be you and Giannis. Bring us home, pal. And he's like, fucking dude, I'm so old. Right? Instead, Cleveland, the fit was maybe just as good, but at the same time, this is so much better, and I guess that sort of fits into the does it work, will it work sort of thing, because you think about if it had been Cleveland, you've got Donnie Mitchell, you've got James Harden, you've got Mobley and Allen. So LeBron would be the 3, which is a bit much, I think, at this point of his career. He's built like fucking Karl Malone. He's 42. He can now play the 4 next to Embiid and feel pretty good about it, I think, on Philly. Where, they've got a little bit of size on the wings now between VJ, Jaylen Brown, and LeBron, and Embiid in the middle. Fucking love that. But yeah, speaking of which, Philly starting 5. Is this the best starting 5 in the NBA, Jim? Yeah, no, because you got to go and beat somebody, namely the Knicks, the Spurs, or OKC, the teams that have been good. At the moment, Philly's just a fucking theoretical conundrum. And who knows when Embiid's going to play. So, yeah, it'll probably all work. But the theoretical starting 5 is very good. But we just don't know, when it's going to go off. So I want to give a bit of credit to the teams that have been there, done that. I've already got their credit, but geez. The starting 5 is very, 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 very fucking fun, though, isn't it? So Maxey, VJ, LeBron James, and Jaylen Brown, and Joel Embiid. It rocks. It rocks. Defensively, you might have a little bit of a problem here and there, but VJ has shown himself to be a willing defender. Jaylen Brown too. LeBron can crank it up when needed. Embiid is still very large. Maxey is a bit of a ball hawk. So they're not going to be a disaster, you'd think, on defense. And offensively, it feels like there's just... When you've got Jaylen Brown and fucking VJ Edgecombe standing in the corners here and there, your offense is pretty good. But yeah, I feel like it's pretty cool. So I guess the big thing is people have talked about usage rates and how the usage rates from last year for Philly starting 5, which is Maxey, 29%, VJ Edgecombe, 19%, Jaylen Brown, 35%, the highest of his career, obviously, running that Boston team. LeBron, 27%, one of the lowest ones of his career, taking a bit of a backseat to Luka and co. And Embiid at 32%. So the fact that their usage rates add up to 142% is probably not great. But it also sort of feels like VJ and Jaylen Brown, if they're your offensive instigators all the time, it's problematic. If they're offensive instigators some of the time, it's way fucking better. The same thing goes for 42-year-old LeBron. You're basically still building around Maxey and Embiid when he's there. And the rest of the dudes, it feels like they don't need to have the ball that much. And I'm not overly concerned about usage rates, usually, right? There's not as much positional redundancy built into this team, whereas you look at someone like Donnie Mitchell and James Harden, if you threw LeBron onto that team, it feels a little bit jankier. But with 5 dudes, very, very disparate kind of roles, I kind of feel like it works a little bit better. So I'm okay with that. All right, what are we up to? Number 7, Philly's bench. Is it feeling pretty good now, Jim? Yeah, yes, because now that Dean Wade goes from your starting 4 to your bench, that's pretty handy. So you got some shooting. You've got Anthony Penny Simons. Don't forget about that. They signed him. He was pretty good for Boston. Well, he sort of stunk it up early for Boston. They figured out his role, and then he was pretty good. Got to Chicago, got hurt. They missed him a lot, Boston. But anyway, Simons is good. They drafted Philon. He could be very, very solid. They've got Boner. If they pick up the notorious KCP, awesome. Because remember, it's the NBA. You get to the first, second round of the playoffs. You get beyond that. You're playing 7, 8 dudes. And the cool thing for, I guess, the Sixers is that their sort of youth in Maxey and Edgecombe is nicely, and Jaylen Brown, to be honest, he's like, 29, is pretty nicely set up to carry the older, more injury-prone dudes. So feeling pretty good about that. Feel like their depth is okay. They probably need a bit more size. What is it? Boner, Huck Porty. I mean, in terms of like the bigs, just leaves a little bit to be desired, but still, yeah, she'll be right. Anyway, otherwise, I kind of like the Philly bench now. Like the LeBron just sort of moving like guys down the depth chart, just that one spot, it all just makes it all a little bit more interesting. So very, very, very cool. All right, number 8. Random thought. Joel Embiid. That's just the thought. What does it mean for Embiid? It means who cares? Kind of, right? This is his best team ever. He's got no more excuses to not get past the fucking second round. We'll get to that in a second. But this is where you just got to show us. Can you stay healthy? Can you be fit? Can you be fit enough throughout a season to get to a second round series and not be fucking cooked like you were this year, right? By the time he got past Boston this year, he was a shell of himself and it was all over Red Rover, right? So, bit of a weird one. I kind of vibe on the simple idea that Embiid should be able to thrive playing limited minutes in a role that just sort of suits him, suits his game with Maxey, with VJ, with these dudes, right? That's all you kind of want him to do. You don't want him overextending himself. Just build and build and build throughout the season, ramping up to get to a playoff position where he is fit, he is healthy, he's game fit, he's match fit, he can get through a series, he can get through another series. That's going to be the biggest question, I think, going out throughout this entire season. And it's also why you'll sort of see, oh God, are they going to trade him for Anthony Davis? Would they? Should they? No, I don't think they should. But still, Embiid, the random thought for that, bringing in LeBron, it's like, it'll hold Embiid presumably more accountable. And I guess you sort of get to this point of like, all right, it's fucking put up and shut up time, right? Just fucking show us. Like, you've won an MVP. LeBron's won an MVP, right? Jaylen Brown's a finals MVP. What the fuck else have you done though, Joel? You've never made it to the second round, so show us. Next up, Jaylen Brown. That's the thought. I'll tell you what, if you hated being the second string guy on your team, you're going to love being the fourth string. Oh, Lord, Maxey. Joel Embiid, LeBron James, Jaylen Brown. Poor VJ. I do think Jaylen Brown's game still fits very, very, very nicely on the same court as LeBron James. I think it's all good. I do think it's hilarious that this dude was like, hey, man, Boston have to trade me now because I've kind of had a bit of a sook, chuck my toys out of the cot because I had to share a bit of the, 1A, 1B responsibility back with your old mate Jason Tatum. I want to run my own team. And he's traded to Philly, where not only is he not running his own team, there are 3 dudes ahead of him who are probably better suited to run the team. If you want to go Maxey, LeBron, and obviously when they run a lot of stuff through Embiid. So, yeah, tough one for Jaylen Brown. To the point where my other random thought about the Jaylen Brown situation was, is this when they now trade him to Portland? Or somewhere else? And Jaylen Brown is like, all right, fucking poos. Trade him to Brooklyn. Get Michael Porter Jr. and Julius Randle back. It would be pretty funny. But yeah, the Jaylen Brown situation going from want to have my own team to going to Philly where now LeBron's on your fucking team. That's a bit of a kick in the dick. I do wonder if he would be the fall guy, and because you presume that he would probably have the most value come a February trade deadline next season. But I mean, that's obviously well into the future. If it all goes a bit sideways, a bit shit, and it just feels super duper janky and he's like a big part of it, off he might be going. But yeah, Jaylen Brown was like a very funny random thought straight away. VJ Edgecombe was the other one. Tough to have a fucking breakout year in your second year when LeBron James is now on your team and you've already got Maxey and you've traded for Jaylen Brown and you've got Joel Embiid and you've got Phylon and Simons. VJ's got to be like, man, I was going to make so much fucking money. To the point where you got to wonder if like Mike Gansey, the bloke who just took over the Sixers, remember how they fired Daryl Morey? So there's 2 other funny names as well. Mike Gansey, Daryl Morey. Funny random thoughts. Morey's just like, this is what I've been trying to do for fucking years, man. And he's already been fucked off. Guess what? It's because you fucked up so badly the rest of the time, Daryl. Gansey comes in, fixes it straight away. But anyway, point being, they've obviously clearly got to go to VJ Edgecombe and be like, hey, VJ, my boy, you're just going to have to suck it up. 2 years, develop under LeBron, hang out with LeBron and Maxey, do your thing when LeBron and Embiid aren't playing, go off your fucking head. It'll be you, Maxey, Jaylen, you're our backbone, game in, game out, so just do your fucking thing, carve it up, and you are still going to be a max player in 3 years' time. Don't worry about it. We're not worried about your numbers. We're just worried about your performance. Very simple, right? So VJ Edgecombe, it's a bit of a tough one for him, but I think he should adapt. He seems like a very good kid. He'll be like the world's greatest fucking 3-and-D second-year player on a really good team, you'd think. Go VJ. Anthony Davis is a funny other random thought. Was it ever a thing the Golden State were going to trade for him? Because it kind of feels like Golden State were like, yeah, we want Anthony Davis. And Washington are like, we're not fucking trading Anthony Davis. It always kind of felt very one-sided. Even though Anthony Davis was kind of always like, yeah, I don't know if I want to play here. But still. And as I said, is it still in the works maybe that they piss Joel Embiid off and bring in Anthony Davis? I don't think so. I think they've got to kick the tires and see how this year goes with Embiid, if he can stay healthy, how he fits. And I kind of, to be honest, like the Embiid 3-point shooting, as much as it shits us off, like it kind of fits a bit better than maybe some of the Anthony Davis stuff, doesn't it? So really space the floor with Embiid when he just goes, all right, fucking, I'm being lazy, I'm going to shoot this three. But still, Anthony Davis, he used to shoot threes. Remember the bubble? But now Anthony Davis stuck on Washington for the minute. Be interesting to see if anything else happens with him. But yeah, it initially felt like they'd be a package deal going to Golden State, but it then felt very one-sided because it never felt like Washington actually wanted to trade him. Speaking of the rest of the East, that's the next random thought. It's a fucking murderer's row. Like, who's bad in the East next year? It's really crazy. Just because the rest of the random thoughts, I'll talk about some of the other teams in a second, but the bad teams next year in the East, I think it's Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Chicago. Like the Wizards have got Trae Young and Anthony Davis and AJ DeBanster. They're not going to be pushovers. They're not going to be good, I reckon. But they'll be better. Indiana, get Tyrese Halliburton back. They'll be better. Don't know how good they'll be because Halliburton is coming back from Achilles. Not everybody's Jason fucking Tatum. The Nets have got Julius Randle and Michael Brown Jr. Like, they should be a little bit better. The Bulls got Caleb Wilson, who looks like the second coming of fucking Sean Kemp mixed with MJ. Love it. Love Caleb Wilson already. Milwaukee are going to stink, but they do have a lot of fucking dudes. They've just got a million dudes, Milwaukee. Look at their depth chart. It's fucked. Like, you go, all right, what guards have you got? Well, Braden Burries went off his head in Summer League and looked awesome. But yeah. It's like him, Tyler Hero, KPJ. And then you've still got Kuzma on this team. You've got a bunch of just this. You've got Yakin Tunis. You've got Jaime Jaquez. You've got Khalil Ware. You've got Miles Turner. There's a bunch of dudes on Milwaukee. So the East is going to be crazy difficult, I think, this year. And it just means that, like, Philly, in the way that they've shot up to, like, contendership, is fucking wildly tough and hardcore and pretty cool. So kind of love that. But it looks, the East is going to be nuts now. We get that. So, other random thoughts. Let's do some teams. The Knicks. I love that the Knicks-Sixers rivalry is going to be absolutely off its fucking head. Right? LeBron up against the Knicks is going to be primetime shit anyway. You've already got Embiid versus Cat. You've got all of those Nova dudes up against the dudes in Philly. Love that. Imagine the Knicks having to go through LeBron and the Sixers in an Eastern Conference Finals to get to another back-to-back NBA Finals. It's going to be off its fucking head. I love that. The Knicks, this is what they needed. This is what the Knicks needed. Right? They needed the bogeyman. The bogeyman? The boogerman. They needed the bogeyman. They needed LeBron. They needed to go, oh, cool. Oh, geez. It's not like we just won the fucking first title in 53 years here in New York. Look at LeBron getting all the press in a shit city like Philly. That's what the Knicks fans should be saying, right? So, yeah, this puts a chip on the Knicks' shoulder. That's fucking massive for them. That's what you need going to a repeat year. You need a fucking target, and that's what the Knicks just got. But they were also pretty nicely built to contend with a team like Philly, if you look at it, right? Brunson, you got Bridges and OG, you've got Josh Hart, you've got Cat. You do lose Mitch Robinson, but still, I don't know, still like their chances. Cleveland, that's right, Cleveland and James Harden. Cleveland! Random thoughts there. Cleveland got to be just fucking shattered that they didn't get LeBron and have like the hoopla around them for the next couple of years. And on top of that, James Harden's opted out of his fucking cash. He's going to be sitting there going, all right, pay my ass. Remember the bit where you promised you'd pay me? Pay me my money. So Cleveland, as I sort of said earlier, the fit did feel a little bit jankier because you've already got Mobley and you've got Jared Allen there. Maybe if they had have moved one of those, maybe if you'd moved Allen or something and LeBron's playing the 4, but they'd already lost Dean Wade. They couldn't move Strus or Schroeder, which is funny as fuck that they're stuck with those dudes and couldn't get like old ass LeBron for his farewell tour. But here we are. It sort of just means that they're going to spin their wheels a little bit and they're kind of stuck, I reckon, in that weird second, third tier contendership in the East. LeBron with Harden and Mitchell anyway, let alone with the front court, always felt a bit weird and janky, but here we are. Boston. That's funny. Those one, with Jaylen Brown now being on the Sixers, the Sixers Celtics games were already going to be insane. Now they've got LeBron, who has spent his entire career tormenting the Celtics, apart from when, they didn't beat him, when he didn't beat him. But it's what he does. Now he's on this Sixers team that have Jaylen Brown in a salary dump, basically, because Boston got old-ass cooked Paul George, and that is going to be absolutely unreal. Like, Boston are like, we got Mitch Robinson. It's like, great. Is he the Embiid stopper? Let's see it. Come on, man. So Boston is going to be hilarious. But for me, it sort of knocks them even down further in the East tiers to where you're like, I don't know, you're not top 6 right now without Brown. Tatum coming back from the Achilles. Derek White, awesome, great. I don't know. Boston worries me next year, I'm just saying. Miami, they're another big random thought team. It's like, all right, shit, what do they do now? Pat Riley's like, man, we're out there fishing. We're out there big game hunting. We've got another one. There's another name on the horizon. And it wasn't LeBron in the end. So what do? Are they sort of maxed out with like what they've got? Is Giannis going to be sitting there going, fuck, why did I leave Milwaukee? Playing with Bam and Simone Fontecchio and Davion Mitchell. Great. I've really fucked this, haven't I? You might have, Giannis, you might have. But Miami, again, they were the ascendant fun story of the East. They've got Giannis. Now LeBron and Jaylen Brown are on the fucking Sixers. Knocks them down too. How about the Raptors? That was the one thing I didn't mention at the top. The NBA put a fucking big pause on that Kawhi trade because of the whole aspiration shit. You don't think they probably should have come out a bit early and go, yeah, look, Clippers, you can't fucking trade Kawhi until we've figured out this aspiration salary cap dodging shit. You fucking idiots. NBA have absolutely cooked that, so good job by them. So the Raptors are sitting there going, do we have Kawhi or not? Because, again, talk about the East and talk about crazy depth and crazy fucking like awesome weird teams that you completely forget about. Toronto's right there. If they've got Kawhi again, holy shit, sign me up. The Atlantic Division is absolutely off its head. Philly up against Toronto, Kawhi versus LeBron. Yes, that'd be fucking awesome. The thing is, we don't know if it's going to happen. So fucking heck, Toronto's in this weird limbo. Atlanta, they've now got Dort. They've got this crazy setup defensively where a whole bunch of good shit's going on. They get rid of Ricochet. Their team makes a little bit more sense now. Ricochet became like a really strange, extra sort of extraneous piece, especially with the emergence of Jalen Johnson and co. But now you've got CJ McCollum, you've got Dort, you're loading up a little bit. Atlanta's a sneaky, awesome little one as well. Same go for the next two. Detroit. They've probably, the Jalen Duren thing, they're holding him over a fucking set of coals. The big problem for me with Detroit, they get rid of Beef Stew. And they lose my sweet baby Karis LeVert. They get Isaiah Joe. It still feels like they need that one thing. And it's sort of weird that they never got in on the LeBron stakes, but whatever. Detroit versus Philly. I'll probably take Philly to live, but anyway. Well, not that he's going to live there, but you can just live in New York. But Atlanta, Detroit, and Orlando, these three random thoughts. Atlanta are probably still that upper tier for me. Orlando, can they just, with a new coach, can they just try to figure some shit out? And Detroit, if they get Duren back, will that defense still be good enough when you've got fighting Ron Hollins and Orsar Thompson alongside Duren and Cade Cunningham, Isaiah Joe, a couple of other dudes here and there? It still feels like they're one short. Orlando, is it going to be Banchero and Franz Wagner battling up against the Sixers wings? Maybe. But it feels like Atlanta getting Dort gave themselves a bit more of a puncher's chance against the upper echelon of the East, whereas Detroit and Orlando, just a bit of a shrug emoji. Next up, I think we've only got like 4 left. The Warriors! What does this mean for them? What does it mean for Steph? Are they just now going to wait for Jimmy Butler? 36-year-old Jimmy Butler coming off a fucking ACL? Great. Feels like they've completely missed a trick here. What does it mean for Draymond as well? So Draymond was a random thought all by himself. I do love that this should be part of Anthony Davis's prank show. It's like LeBron, lead Golden State along and Draymond, get him to opt out of his contract and then go sign with Philly. Oh, shit, we got him. Fuck you, Draymond. I reckon that would be fucking classic. I love that. So fuck you, Draymond. Never forget. The Warriors, however, is a random thought. The West, which is the next random thought, is, look, I don't think it's as loaded as your East, but again, the Warriors weren't very good last year. Question mark, 37-45. You figure the Mavs get Kyrie back, second year Cooper Flag, Zachary Ricochet, maybe Derek Lively if he's going to ever walk again. Grizzlies a little bit improved. The Jazz substantially improved. Clippers probably dropping off a cliff. But anyway, the Warriors, what does it mean for them? What do they do? Is there anything they do? Or do they just keep turning the wheels and going, well, we got Yaxel. He's probably going to punch on with Draymond. We've got the extreme zinger meal, Jim. It's going to be okay.
The extreme zinger meal.
Yeah, it's all a bit fucky if you ask me. Last couple of ones, the West. You can see the reverberations going out. Like you look at the West and you go, ooh, there are a lot more question marks in the West than there are in the East. So OKC and San Antonio still feel like absolutely unimpeachable the favorites. Denver, still very, very, very good. If he wanted to go to a ready-made sort of circumstance, if he was going to go to Philly, I do wonder how the fuck Denver didn't go, LeBron, just come hang out here. You, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray next to the Joker. Let's do it. What do you think? And then you sort of wonder if the Denver Nuggets owners were just a little bit too cheap and didn't want to do it. But Denver would have been interesting. The Clippers also, like, the funniest thing would have been he's like, hey, fuck you, Lakers. I'm going to the Clippers. I get to still hang out with my son, but he's just playing for a different team. But yeah, the Clippers clearly in a different phase now, a bit of rebuilding here and there. Houston never felt like he was going to fit there with KD and co. But the rest of the West, like Minnesota is a big fucking question mark for me because you know how I feel about LaMelo. I think he's a moron. Anthony Davis, LaMelo's living in Anthony Davis's guest house. That is like the world's greatest odd couple. It's like, hey, paternity suit. Hey, driving fucking ticket. Like, what's going on here? Two morons hanging out, knocking chicks up, driving fast. What a world. But the West is just absolute chaos now because, as I said, OKC, San Antonio, feeling pretty good. Everything else, Denver, who knows? Lakers, sure. The snow time Lakers, awesome. The Rockets, look, if they've got Marcus Smart, I don't ever feel like that actually helps, but still, Wolves with LaMelo, Portland with all their dudes, they've got Ja, Phoenix, who fucking knows? The Clippers, sure. Are the Pelicans ever going to do anything? Probably not. The Mavs, hopefully a little bit better. The Grizzlies, probably a little bit improved. The Kings are an absolute fucking tire fire. The Jazz a little bit better. So there's only 2 or 3 teams in the West that aren't that good, but it feels like the sheer quality across the board has just taken a little bit of a hit with LeBron going from the Lakers to the Sixers. So I guess the West just feels a little bit more different, a little bit weirder, a little bit weaker. And the East feels like it's fucking loaded for bear. Last 2. Can LeBron and the Sixers actually win the NBA title? Yeah, nah. I got to say nah. Right? We've not seen Embiid get through past the second round, ever. And we've not seen him get to a point recently where he's healthy enough to really even impact in the second round. That dude was a fucking shell of himself this year. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to just go, yeah, can they win it? If everything goes completely right and Embiid, who has never proven to be able to stay healthy or be fit enough to like work through 4 fucking rounds of the playoffs, look at what we just saw from San Antonio and the Knicks this past season. Absolute attrition. Those dudes were fucking fit, firing, and absolutely on the ball the entire time. The Sixers, Maxey, Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, ticks across the board. LeBron, probably a tick, was very good in the back half of the season, pretty good in the playoffs. But yeah, he's 42. And then just Embiid is the big question mark. So can they win the title? Nah, because Embiid has never proven that he can actually do that sort of shit. But if everything goes right, yeah. Like, this is a team that is now absolutely fucking loaded at every position, has a pretty bloody good bench, I reckon, and off we go. So they could, if it all goes completely 100% correct. And Embiid is like the best version, in the best shape of his life, has the stamina, doesn't get injured. It can happen. It 100% can happen. 100% it can happen, like, at a very small percentage of a chance. And then the final one, would we ping LeBron and his legacy for it if he did so? Yeah, nah. 5 rings on 4 different teams would be a bit fucking strange. And I'll tell you what, it's kind of a bummer that it's a different team, right? Cleveland or Miami would have made a little bit nicer narrative sense. Philly probably does give him a better chance at winning the title. I think if he got to five rings, if they won the title, if he's gotten Embiid over the hump, if he's gotten Maxey and Edgecombe, and like Jaylen Brown's been absolutely fucking amazing, I think it just sort of becomes like a pretty similar story to the Knicks, right? Where it's like first title in a million years. The Sixers haven't been in the final since 2001. They last won in 83. Like, yeah, it would be a huge fucking story. LeBron comes in as the savior, helps the city get up there. I do wonder if that overrides the 5 rings, 4 different teams. Still, narratively, would have liked it a little bit more on Cleveland. Maybe even Miami, but would have been a bit of a shit show. And Golden State, that kind of would have been really, really fun, but I still don't think they would have been a legit contender. Anyway, last one. Bonus. I think we've done 25 random thoughts. Is this kind of a little bit of a bummer? Right? Like, LeBron in the Sixers uniform, I'm just like, oh, okay. Sure. Cleveland just made so much sense. Narratively. Basketball-wise, maybe not so much. Also, I was like, look, Jaylen Brown, Embiid, Dean Wade, Simons, it would have been all pretty cool. They would have been good. VJ could fucking, spread his wings and fly. And here we are. Look, nah, it's not that much of a bummer because it's a really fucking fun story to have him on Philly. When Philly is like big and important and in the news, it's the same with the Knicks. The NBA is a better place for it. Same with Boston. Like just these big, massive legacy markets, when they're really newsworthy and really interesting, I'm absolutely here for it. So it's slight, just like, would have liked to have seen VJ Edgecombe and Phylon have a bit of a crack, but whatever. You get that on the big jobs when you go and get LeBron James on your Sixers. All right, last thing. Matty O asked the exact same thing, right? Vibe killer or vibes to the max in Philly now with LBG joining? Yeah, nah. I kind of think we might get vibes to the max. I think it'll be a good thing, right? I kind of think that what'll happen is he'll come in as the old head, do his thing. Maxey and Edgecombe will sort of go along with it. And Embiid will sort of be like, oh, this is actually pretty awesome. This is much better than Paul fucking George and James Harden. Like, I feel like I can see this going well. So I think a vibes to the max kind of thing there. I think he sort of understands his role, or at least his place in the sport right now as well. So, and I feel like he'll try to do this all the way through to like the 28 Olympics and keep his, nose in the game for a little bit longer. So, yeah, I think that's where it's at. All right. Last little bit. What does it mean for the odds now, Jim, for the actual NBA title? Well, the Sixers have surged up to 11. So as it stands right now, July 25, OKC and the Spurs, both favourites at $3.75. The Knicks to repeat is $10. 11 for Philly, 15 for Boston. Toronto's at 20. Denver is at 21. Denver at 21. Don't mind that. 23 for the Pistons, 23 for the Wolves, 34 for the Cavs, 36 for Houston, 41 for the Pacers. Just saying. 41 for the Pacers, a team that was in a Game 7 of the NBA Finals when their best player tore his Achilles at 41. Just saying. All right. So there you go. There is 25 random thoughts about LeBron James joining. Whoops, that's a wrong song. The Philadelphia 76ers. So that's it. We're going to take a bit more of a break as well. Figured we'd just pop back on, talk out all the LeBron stuff, and that's exactly what we just did. I think we talked out all the fun shit. So yeah, keep your eyes out. I might pop up again here and there with some more thoughts if there's any other moves that sort of come out of this. But yeah, we're going to keep basically, unless something else really big happens, we'll stay on a break. You can still see me popping up here and there on the socials, so Facey, Twitter, IG, TikTok, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe across all of those, of course, for NBA Australia. We are still doing Footy Unfiltrated every week, talking AFL, myself and Jez. NFL Australia will be back really soon. We're doing Jim Does Supercoach every week as well still. We'll be doing AFL is still going on. We'll obviously be doing NFL and NBA Supercoach if they re-roll those out. So yeah, lots going on still. So you can still listen to me talking heaps of shit. Got some other thoughts as well that we, going into next season, we might try out. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Anyway, rate, review, star, subscribe across all your podcast apps, of course, and YouTube, etc. Get around buymeacoffee.com/NBA Australia. I'm going to do some more writing and some more exclusive shit over there. So go check it out. Join the Dead Set Legends Club. You get all the exclusive content there. buymeacoffee.com/NBA Australia. Big thanks to From Oslo for the intro and outro song, as well as to House Hats, Josh Adilla, Redis, Fascinated Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, iOS Extra, Green, and those is there behind all the tunes you hear. Smash them on all of your, streaming platforms of choice. NBA Australia, support Australian bands. And that's it. We will catch you in a little bit. I don't know. You'll hear us on the Dead Set Legends Club pretty soon. So go subscribe to buymeacoffee.com/NBA Australia. Go do that. And you'll hear me sooner than later. But otherwise, we'll be back whenever we need to be. So this is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And can't believe LeBron's on Philly. Hug your mates. Later, hosen.